Hi, this is JoJo with Queen of Life Tarot, and today I'm gonna do a love reading because love is my favorite subject of all, and my heart is in it all the way. So I'm gonna be using my African Goddess Rising Oracle, my Love Oracle, and then I'm gonna use traditional tarot cards. Okay, so we're gonna start with the I like to do the tarot card first and then pull from the oracle. So we're going to start with this. Let me go ahead and shuffle them up. I hope you guys are having a lovely morning, day, afternoon, whatever time you find this video. So I have a good feeling about this reading. You know, my intention is that you receive the love you so truly deserve, and that whatever card reading you receive today, that it's one of many possibilities, that you understand that, and you get to decide what direction you want to go in based upon your current energy, which can change at any moment. You can elevate at any moment. You know, you could go backwards, you could go forward. You know, it all depends on you. But we're going to see what these cards say to give us some guidance. So I'm going to pull 7 cards because that's just my favorite number to pull. So we have 2 of Pentacles. We have Temperance. And I don't do reversals. Well, I'll do a reversal if it makes sense in the reading. But this is a fairly new deck, so most of the cards are going to be biased towards one direction in the first place. So that's another reason why I'm not going to do reversals. So we have 4, 5, 6. Make sure you can see all of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right. So looks like 2 of Pentacles. Most of us who are, you know, into tarot reading, including myself, which I much certainly am. I watch other tarot readings as well, but I love to do my own personal ones because it's more personal. So this one means juggling. So this could be your person or you juggling, or have to make a certain decision about, you know, who you want. Or it could be your person who's juggling between you and someone else. And we know we all hate third parties, but this may not apply to your circumstance, because one thing, you know, these card readings you view on YouTube, it's one of many possibilities for yourself. And I've gotten readings from other people, and if I were to live my life based upon the reading they gave me, I think I'd be disoriented right now, because the readings made no sense. And it could have very well been a possibility, but none of it was true. And the thing about it, and I think it had to do with my energy, because energy is everything, and what you're vibing on, you're at that level of receiving. So I was in an energy of heartbreak, despair, fear. I was in a very negative state at that point when I was getting a reading. And so I had 2 different readers give me the same exact reading. But then, this was several months ago, but none of those readings were true. And I think maybe because of my energy right now is totally different than when it was back then. But when they gave me those readings, they had all type of storylines, but it was identical. 2 separate readers, the exact same reading about a specific person, and everything they said about the person wasn't true. So I feel like whatever reading you get, if you get a personal reading from somebody, it's based on your current energy. And sometimes it's just one possibility of many. Because you have to understand the energy of the person who's giving you the reading is coming through as well. And I can honestly say that I don't think the energy of those readers were on the positive side, if you ask me. So I feel like a lot of that was probably their energy, but I know mine had a big role in it too, because I was in a very dark place at the time that I sought the readings. But ironically, one of those readers, she gave me 2 readings over a 2-week period. And the first one was the opposite of the second one for some reason. You see what I mean? You see, so how can you get 2 different readings and they both be the opposite of each other? That's because there's 2 sides of a coin, basically. And it could be either way. It's one of many possibilities, infinite possibilities. And so that's just one possibility. One reading is one possibility of what can be happening. But you have the power to take it any direction that you want. So this one, there's options here. It could be you. It could be you, because if I were to put myself in this reading right here, I can definitely see how it could apply to me. Juggling, but that would represent me though. So this probably represents you. You may have multiple options. It's pretty common to have more than one option these days. But temperance is about balancing that energy and deciding what you want. You know, it's balancing, it's being clear on your intentions and what you want. And we have, let's see, this one is the battle. There's some things you might have to sort out, okay? It could be some drama concerning your heart. It could be like a relationship that's not going the way you want it to go. There's maybe an obstacle, some type of obstacle you have to get over or overcome, or how do I say, you can manifest a better situation. But that's everyday life. I mean, there's always an obstacle somewhere. No one sailed through life smoothly without any bumps on the road, because you don't grow without conflict. So there may be, you know, an issue or obstacle in your way, but guess what, here comes the 2 of Cups. Not only are you gonna get the love you want, but it'll all be worth it for you. This whole journey through love and relationships would be worth it for you, because here you have the 2 of Cups. And then you got the Queen of Pentacles. That means you're going to be doing financially well if you aren't already. So this union is going to bring some abundance to you. It's going to help contribute to the abundance. Now this 3 of Swords, it can represent past pain that may resurface here, or maybe a new issue may come up, but it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. You know, after the storm, after a rainy day, the sun eventually shines again. And then you have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant represents taking the time out to evaluate things, taking time out for yourself, nurturing yourself, balancing your own energy. Because when we pour into ourselves, other people will pour into us as well. So one thing I can say about relationships is when we're not depending on the other person, I feel like that's when we're doing our best. And that's how they thrive a little bit better. Not so much selfishly oriented, but when you're including yourself in the love. Because if you're just constantly giving out love to other people, you'll deplete yourself. So you need to pour that love into you. And that can be simple stuff like, you know, making time for yourself in the day to do something you like to do. It can be treating yourself to something. It could be, you know, something that brings you smile. You know what I mean? I love music. I love to dance. I love listening to the 90s music that I love, and I feel my happiest when I'm playing those music and dancing and stuff. That kind of boosts up my mood. That's an instant booster for me to listen to my favorite 90s songs and jam to them. Okay? So that's me. So the Hierophant, that's about introspection and self-reflection. Okay? I'm gonna go into my love oracle right here and pull out a card for you. This is a lovely reading, and I urge you to claim it for yourself. Claim the love that you want, the way you want it. But sometimes you do have to take action. Inspired action. A lot of the law of attraction stuff is in law of assumptions. They tend to tell you not to take action towards anything. But sometimes when it comes to love, are you just going to wait for the other person to do it? Are you just going to hold all those emotions in and wait for the other person? Or are you going to, take inspired action? I mean, inspired action is different than trying to make something happen. Like for me, example, for a whole year, I bottled up my feelings that I felt about somebody. And eventually I got to the place where, okay, which one can I live with? Can I live with keeping these feelings for myself and him never knowing how I really felt? Or can I live with him knowing how I feel and rejecting me? I said, I can live with him knowing how I truly feel and rejecting me. Because after all, this love is unconditional. My love for him doesn't depend on whether or not it works out between us. It doesn't depend on whether he feels the same way or not. These are my feelings for him. If it's not reciprocated, okay, but I believe it is because so far it's been mutual. It hasn't been like a one-sided situation at all. So I didn't feel like I had anything to lose by expressing my feelings to him. And I'm glad I did. I don't regret it whatsoever. So I said that just to give you a food for thought. Because I know, a lot of this manifesting, you create your own reality, law of attraction, law of assumption, tarot. Oh, this person's coming in, this person's coming to you, he's coming to you. Yes, you can manifest a specific person. Yes, you can manifest movement. You can manifest being pursued, all that good stuff. But if you're feeling high vibrational, if you're feeling love in your heart, if you're feeling good, if you feel inspired to reach out to them, do that. Go ahead and do it. Don't wait if you're in that energy. Because a year ago today, I would not have had the courage to tell him how I felt. Not at all. I was still somewhat ego-based, negative, fearful type vibe. And I'm like, oh no, he can't know how I feel. Whatever. He needs to do it. I'm a queen. I'm a goddess. He needs to do blah, 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 blah. I still feel I'm a queen and a goddess. But now I can use my feminine energy and express how I truly feel. Expressing feelings is a feminine trait. It's a divine feminine trait to express your feelings. So rather than sit around and wait for someone else to confess their feelings for you, you can certainly tell them how you feel. Give them the green light to act. Because sometimes men need a little push. I talked to my grandfather. He's 87 years old. I talked to him like a couple weeks ago. Oh no, I talked to him last week. Well, I talked to him today, but this last week is when he gave me this information. And this was news to my ears because all my life, I could have sworn that he pursued my grandma, okay? And he may have very well pursued her, but guess who got the ball rolling? My grandmother. He told me that she confessed her feelings for him, and she's the one that told him, she wanted to get married and stuff. And so they got married. I said, so you mean to tell me you didn't get on your knees and propose to her? He said no. He said he didn't know how to express his feelings. So that was a big eye-opener for me because I've had this idea about the man is supposed to do this, the man is supposed to pursue. And I still believe that to a certain degree. But I also think that as a woman, I have all the power as well. And if the man has a green light, then it'll be clear what the next step is. So sometime while we're sitting around waiting, they may be feeling the same way, but they're not sure. And by you getting the ball rolling, you can get your manifestation much faster. But if you want to manifest something specific, then I suggest you just focus on that. I don't want to get you out of your comfort zone. I'm just saying, if you're in a high vibration, if you feel the love for someone, tomorrow's not promised. So tell them you love them. But don't do it if you need them to say it back. If you need them to validate your feelings by telling you they feel the same way, if you need that from them, if you need anything from them, don't do it. Because you might hurt yourself. When I express my feelings to my specific person, who I believe is my twin flame, I didn't expect him to say anything. And I told him that. I said, this is how I feel about you. And I don't need you to respond to me. I told him I don't need him to respond. I said, I don't need you to respond, but you're free to do so if you choose. Because I didn't want him to feel obligated. Because sometimes when we express our feelings for someone, we're expecting that they're going to feel the same way. We're expecting that they tell us what we want to hear. And sometimes they may not feel that way. Or it may be premature. It may be premature, just not the right timing yet. But you shouldn't need them. You shouldn't need anything from them. When you're expressing your love, you're just declaring your love with no expectation from them. Sure, it'd be nice if they felt the same way. But if you need that validation from them, if you need the reciprocation, then don't do it. Because it will hurt and sting if they don't reciprocate it. I didn't get I love you back. He didn't tell me he loved me back. But that's okay. I'm not bothered by it. I'm not bothered by it. Because you know what? He already told me I was his future wife. He already told me that, he was going to marry me several times. But I felt the need to do that because, we've been in separation for quite some time. And so I just want him to know my true feelings for him because I never expressed them. I was in my masculine energy. I was in fear. And I felt like, oh no, well, he needs to do it. He needs to do it. So, yeah. If you can, if you have the courage, if it's not going to hurt you a great deal, if they don't say the same thing back, go ahead and tell them you love them. So I'm going to pull this card here. Okay. It says codependency. And I think this may have to do with the Three of Swords. I'm going to pull more than one. I'm going to pull 3 cards. Because these are giving you advice. This one says codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. So sometimes we could be addicted to a person. Sometimes we need that high that only love can give us. Love is like the ultimate drug, I think. Because there's nothing like it. It just makes you feel on top of the world when it's great. But it's the most painful thing ever if it's not so great, But this is a reminder to be codependent on anyone for our happiness. That we need to go within and fulfill our own self, fulfill our own lives, and not expect someone else to do it. This is not a burden for someone else to fulfill. Our life is not in anyone's hands to fulfill us, to keep us happy. Do you know what you're asking of another person to keep you happy? No one can do it. No one can bend backwards enough for us to stay happy. This is something we have to do. We have to be independent with our happiness and not necessarily use other people as a crutch. And oftentimes in a relationship, we think that's what it's supposed to be. I think it's a lot of movies and stuff like that influence us on that codependency stuff. But we need to be a bit more emotionally self-sufficient to have a healthy, happy relationship. So this is a word of advice, is to, let's not depend on other people. That includes me. Not rely on anything or anyone outside of me for my joy, for my happiness. Let's pull the next oracle. It says, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Ain't that the truth? Okay? We have to stay optimistic. And that's part of the Hierophant card right here. Introspection, going within. Trying to balance things. You stay optimistic. That's part of the advice right here. You see how the cards are coming together? Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Okay. Now I'm going to pull one more card from here. It says past life relationship. You have known each other before. Well, I most certainly feel that way about my person. Because when I first met him, I don't know why it felt like I knew him. I ain't never seen him before in my life, but I just like a spiritual recognition or something. But he definitely was the catalyst to my ascension, for sure. Oh my goodness. Was he the catalyst? Like the day he asked me out, like that caused all type of anxiety and all types of emotions. It was really, it was the beginning of the twin flame journey for me. Okay. But I'm at the point where I'm still happy whether we're in union or not. I can still find joy in my life. That's where I'm at right now. I can find joy in my life whether we unite or not. And I'm okay with another option. I'm okay if I marry somebody else and not him. Even though I prefer him above all. My heart is, you know, all in with him. Because, you know, most guys, you know, I'm done with them. You know, we're in separation. I don't think twice. Like, I'm not dwelling on them like that. But this person, after a whole year, still couldn't get him out of my brain. To me, that I knew it was significant. And so, definitely twin flame vibe here, because I don't understand, you know, there's no other, I don't know, I've never, you know, after being here for 4 decades, you know, there's no one else that really sparked my spirit and my heart center the way he did. And after a whole year, that same love I felt is still present and never went away. So that has to mean something. So the card I pulled from my African Goddess Rising guidebook is Iset. It says surrender. Let me go ahead and read that for you. Let's see here. So also known as Isis. It says Goddess Iset is revered as a magical healer and sorceress. She is of 10,000 names. You may know her as Isis, her Greek name, or Aset, Aset, or Wuset. Iset was worshipped in ancient Nubia, the Sudan region, Egypt, and beyond. Her guidance says, let it all go. Say out loud now, I surrender. These words cast a spell. Breathe them in. Embodiment. Release control. Stop bonding around struggle. Hand the keys to the divine. Allow spirit to carry you and fill in the gaps. You don't have to figure it all out. Goddess has your back. Have faith in where you are at this moment. Goddess' declaration is everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time. And that is so true. And ironically, my specific person, he asked me out when I was doing manifesting a soulmate. When I was doing these meditations to manifest a soulmate into my life. And the next thing I know, he asked me out. And I was shocked because I didn't know he was checking me out like that. Okay. But yeah, this is an awesome reading. You're going to get what you want. There may be a little bit of obstacle, maybe a little bit of pain, but it calls for you to not be codependent on anyone. Stay optimistic. Know that what you want wants you back. Who you want wants you back. Surrender it to the divine right now and just know that it is, because that's how powerful you are. So this is your reading. I hope it's helpful to you. I thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.